This is going to be a long video. Lots of people, lots and lots and lots of people have been asking me to explain a little bit about the situation. Well, let's go back to the beginning. Now, subsidies were brought in after the Second World War. They called it the CAP, the Common Agricultural Policy. And it was, you know, for food security, because during the war, there wasn't imports. A lot of people had ration books and people went hungry. Dig for Victory, you know, they had all these fantastic ladies working the land, you know, to produce food, to feed the nation. And of course things changed, European policies changed, and they went more into environmentally based schemes from maybe 80s, 90s into the 2000s. So, you know, when you think that government says Wales is a nature depleted country, well, it's all due to their policies and the millions they've spent on environmentally based schemes. So that's just one thing. Now, another thing I'd like to put over: every single pound of subsidy that comes to the Welsh farmer will create £9 in the local economy. Now, if that's not a good investment, I don't know what is. Over the next few years, if Welsh Government get their way, we could lose 5,500 jobs within the farming sector. And that is the tip of the iceberg, because the farming sector helps. There's one cow going over there. The farming sector helps and employs so many other people. So not just the farming sector, the auctioneers, the hauliers, the feed merchants, the tractors, you know, all these machinery dealers, come on, they will have to cut down on their staff. They will lose people that are working for them. So the knock-on effect to the agricultural sector is massive. Now, this is the big one that I'm worried about. Our job primary is to produce food. That's what farmers do, okay? So beef, lamb, you know, we grow vegetables, we grow a lot of corn, you know, barley, wheat to make beer, bread, everything. Everything will start from the turf or the surf out in the sea. And we haven't got any more fishermen left. Them poor buggers have long gone. That industry was ruined, the same as the coal industry. So, you know, they're basing this SFS, so I believe, on the biodiversity and on storage of carbon. Now, they want to grow 10% trees. Again, what we've got here on the Carnarvon mountain range, mountains sequestering, holding hundreds of thousands of tons of carbon and sucking in more carbon. Pastoral land, grazed properly, will be sequencing as much carbon as any forestry. Fact, okay? And if we plant trees today, they won't be sequestering any amount of carbon for at least 15 years. So we might as well be peeing in the sea. Absolutely waste of time and money. Now, as we move on a little bit further, the money that we're given in that subsidy, as I said before, was in the beginning to produce food. So, you know, we've got some great farming people out here that can produce food, and then that food is affordable to the general public. You know, food has not gone up in the way everything else has. And, you know, if I'd have gone back 30 years, we would have been getting £30, £40 for our breeding ewes. What are we getting for them now? 60 and 70. And our cost of production has gone up massively. So the subsidy, the money, was helping us just a little bit, not enough, I'll be honest with you. I believe that food will have to go up anyway. But if we take away what they want and we lose again 10 or 20% of our farms, we'll have 10 or 20% less beef, less lamb, less corn, less veg, whatever we're going to take out of that equation, there'll be less food produced. Now, I ain't a rocket science. I'm not a professor, but, if there is less food on that marketplace, that food is going to be a lot more expensive. Maybe twice as much or 3 times as much. And because there's less of it, only the rich will be able to, or the middle class, let's say, or the people that are more affluent than others. So who will suffer here? Who will suffer? It will be the poor people. The poor people will suffer because they're the ones that always do suffer. So these crazy schemes from our Welsh government are going to make people hungry. And the decision is yours, We are in a democracy and we can vote anybody in. We can put these people in power as we want. That's our choice. I've had so many hauliers and people sending me messages about the 20 miles an hour in this country. Welsh government has slowed this country down and cost everybody money. And they believe it's saving lives. I can't put facts and figures onto that for you, but all I can hear is lorry drivers, businesses are hemorrhaging money because the Welsh government are slowing down our roads and our economy. Now, our decision and our choices are up to us, but we can ask these people respectfully, peacefully, why have they made these decisions? And we can ask them that we don't believe that them decisions are right, and can they change them? So, as what we call the wedding, the people, the farming communities have come together because they've had enough. Digon, enough is enough. And we want change. We want our industry safeguarded for the future generations. If we can't invest into our farms, we have got no chance to be producing food affordably for you. And the 3 things that people have picked within the industries, the first one is the SFS, the Sustainable Farming Scheme. And we've spoken about that as 10% trees and 10% biodiversity. And I'm not against planting trees, the right tree in the right place. And we could be double fencing a lot of areas, and we could be planting hedgerows. Hedgerows which are fantastic for nature and fantastic for sequencing carbon into the ground. These are the things we can do. We can work with government, so-called government, to find the ways that we can solve these problems. Number 2, NVZ, natural vulnerable zones. We won't be allowed to carry our manure over the winter months across Wales, blanket ban. It's absolutely ludicrous. Farmers use manure to put onto the ground, to feed the ground, to feed the grass, and we haven't got the storage to keep it for these big, for a long periods, which farmers again will have to spend in the infrastructure on the farm or cut down on their stocking again. And thirdly, TB, absolutely devastating our industry, losing thousands of cows every week, costing thousands of pounds to you, the taxpayer, and stress and strain mentally, physically, financially on farmers. Absolutely ludicrous. And this has been proven by reducing the number of badgers in England. It has worked. The TB levels have come down. and it's working. It's something like 16%, and that is fantastic, 16 or 19%. In Wales, it's increased 6 or 9%. Now, these are the things that we need to look at, and we need to challenge the people that are so-called running our country and telling us how to farm and how to produce food for you. The choice is yours, and we want to be here to produce food affordably, sustainably, seasonally, healthily and safely, protecting the environment and doing as much as we can to work together to protect this beautiful country. And dan ni'n siaradwrs Cymraeg, we are Welsh speaking. The majority of the farmers speak Welsh as the first language. You know, taking 5,500 jobs from our industry will again dilute our language, our people, our tradition, and we have to protect it and we have to fight for it. Anyway, I hope that explains a little bit about where we are. Of course, this is my opinion. If you're willing to share that opinion with your friends, family, and I think it's time for change, because digon di digon, enough is enough. Diolch o galon. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening, supporting, and you people have been amazing. You know, from the truck drivers to the fishermen, to the farmers, and to just the general public, and to the businesses that have got behind Welsh agriculture. And let's hope to God that there's a future for our next generation farming this land in a sustainable, regenerative way. Diolch. PS as well, farmers are the last people to go out and protest. Farmers are always home, you know, watching after their animals, growing their plants, growing their crops. That's what we do. We never go out to protest. But why are they protesting across Europe? Why are they protesting, you know, across the world? It's because there's something radically wrong within the system, and it's not the farmers' fault. It's government and supermarkets and just big businesses putting pressure on agriculture. Thank you for listening.